Good evening, my name is Garrett, and welcome to The Last Call. Tonight's final drink is Casey John's Bourbon Whiskey with Smoked Mesquite, coming in at a 45% ABV. Now, for full disclosure, this sample was sent over for us to take a look at and a review, just keeping that transparency open. So, Casey Johns is an American music songwriter known for her country rock style and made a pretty good name for herself. She paired up more recently with Cali Distillery out of California to create her own whiskey here. Now, they tell us some good information about it. This is a high rye mash bill with 70% corn, 23 rye, and 7% malted barley. On top of that, as always, as the bourbon goes, starts off in that new American oak. It's then transferred into charred French oak and then finished with Sonora Mesquite. Really cool idea. So this isn't like a flavoring added or anything like this. It's an actual process they're going through. Not only using that mesquite, but using a charred French oak cask. Personally, I love smoky, as you can tell. And we don't see a lot of smoked bourbons around, which excites me to be able to try something because I've had some that do a great job and I've had others that, kind of miss the mark a little bit. They're a little too afraid to go too deep into the smoky elements. So let's find out today how Cali Distillery does it. Let's get into it. But as always, make sure you like the video, subscribe to the channel, hang around for a bit, become a member if you'd like. If you're interested in some individual reviews from the Cali Distillery, links to those videos will be up above and down below, along with a link to their websites, so you can check them out for yourself, read about them, find yourself a bottle in your area, all that kind of good stuff. Honestly, great color on there. Got a nice dark oaky color, but it's also got an orange hue to it as well. Kind of pretty. Let's go for notes. You know what? That is a good nose. Very light on the smokiness, and I can appreciate that to a degree because, especially if you're not used to smoky elements, this might come off a little more brash. Personally, I think it's great. It's right on the money. It's got a light bit of smokiness, but you're getting a lot of bourbon on the nose. Getting that not only the corn dustiness and the sweet buttery corn notes in there, but that rye build is coming through, bringing across a little bit of spiciness. And that mesquite is pulling across what I would call like a wood burning kit. Like if you've ever been around somebody that's used one or used one personally, where you're like etching into wood and you get that little wisp of smokiness going on. Yeah, that is really solid. Also getting a bit of nuttiness in here from that French oak cask. That has actually got a really solid nose, very approachable. Don't let the smokiness scare you, at least on the nose, because it is very subtle and got a little sweetness in there. Very much, this would be a great intro, on the nose at least, for a bourbon drinker to start getting into some smoky elements. Because it's right up home plate. Like there is nothing off, no ABV bites, no harshness on that. Just a really solid bourbon with some smoky element in there with that wood burning kit. Just a light wisp of it. The more I keep going back to it, I am finding a bit of that rye spiciness kind of peeking through the underbelly of that smokiness. And it's really coming across beautiful. Let's go for a taste. Yeah. Ooh, there it is. Okay. Ooh, yeah, that's got a good smoky element to it. So, oh man, that's riding beautifully in the finish. I am a big fan of that process. Instead of trying to mimic smoke, adding that actual smoked mesquite to things really comes through in the taste. So, starts off very classic bourbon, a little bit of butterscotch, brown sugars, little oakiness and vanilla layers. You get that bit of corn sweetness in there. And then right about the mid palate is where the smoke comes in at. And it really clings well. It's got a good oiliness to the palate. And then here in the finish, you get that light bit of spiciness, a little pepperiness, and it teeters close to a savory note with that mesquite in there. I smoke a lot of things. I love smoking meats, jerky, corn on the cob, and this is what it's reminding me of opening up that hood on the smoker. You get all the beautiful smells rolling out of it. And I gotta be honest, they did a great job on that. Wow. I might have to try to grab me a bottle of this because that's not going to last long. I'm going to finish this real quick. The element of smoky is part of the process, and I got to give credit to that, because a lot of times when I see smoked bourbons, it's usually done in a way that's like flavored, or they're smoking the grains and it doesn't come through, doesn't translate well to the bottle. Using that for finishing, very smart idea on that, because it comes through beautifully, but yet you still don't lose out on the bourbon of the bottle. I got to give that credit. I love what the French oak brings with that little bit of spiciness and nuttiness, giving you almost like a peanut nuttiness going on. But the cling to the palate because of that smoked mesquite is beautiful. It's approachable, and to be honest, this is a great bottle to intro to somebody that's interested in getting into smoky but doesn't want to go into the Scotch territory. I actually think I might have to, if I can snag a bottle of this, we might do some A/B comparisons between this and other smoked bourbons, because that is a great example of one. Phenomenal job on that. Alrighty, well, let's talk about a grade for this one. I love the French oak spiciness in here, brings across a little bit of nuttiness, and that rye spiciness is also peeking through with a little bit of herbal going on in there. If I want to be nitpicky, and this is a very small nitpick, it's got a little bitterness in there. And it's probably, again, unfortunately, from that smoked mesquite, bringing across just a little bit of that bitterness. But I'll tell you what, if I can snag a bottle of this, we'll do some A/B comparisons between some other smoked bourbons, because this is probably one of the prime examples I've had in recent time of somebody doing it right. I love that sip. Alrighty, well, let's talk about a grade for this one. You know, to be honest, I came in here with high hopes. I do every time when I see somebody doing a smoked element. Again, I'm a smoky fan. Got to give it an A-. Like, there's not a fault really to it. It is a great sip. If anything, you know, it is a very simple bourbon on the taste. Not that that's a bad thing. The simplicity of the bourbon lets the smoky element talk, but it also doesn't lose its identity. And I got to give that credit for that profile. It comes across. If you're interested in getting into smoky elements, that's one to buy. Usually around the $50 to $55 price range. And it's a great example. Like, I'm excited for people to try this one. I just think it's a really unique bottle that you could really share with some people and enjoy. Big thumbs up on this release. And again, if you're interested in learning more about Cali Distillery or Casey John's bourbon whiskey with smoked mesquite, a link to their websites will be down in the description area below. Go show them some love. So yeah, there you have it, folks. Casey John's bourbon whiskey with smoked mesquite. If you have any questions about the bottle itself, let me know down in the comment section below. I will do my best to answer it. And if you have any specific spirits I should go looking for, also let me know down below. Love doing these reviews and sharing with you the experience at home. And as always, may our last drink of the night be the best one.
You know, I really like it might not.